Hello and welcome to MTG Profits. This is episode 27. I'm your host, Devin, and I'm joined by Andy.
Hi, everybody.
And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about basically our usual. We're going to talk about cards. We're going to talk about news. We're going to throw a few picks in there. And also, before I get too far into it, I do want to remind people to check out mtgprofits.com and also maybe check out some of our duels of Magic Arena on the YouTube.
Yeah, a new one is just was up there. You can check out some. I think it was some goblins versus some. I think it was your white-black one, if I remember.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I remember thinking we had like some awesome battles, and we were like, why didn't we record these?
Yeah, I'll have to go back through and see if I got some more that I just haven't got to. So we've got more to come. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so definitely check that out, and also check out mtgprofits.com as well for more cool information. And I know we've got a couple of news items. I know
a lot of the news
scoured
some here.
News.
Yeah, so scouring deep into the interwebs, into multiple planes that exist.
Excellent.
I think everybody was on pins and needles and we kind of talked about it a little before, that there was going to be a big announcement coming up at the end of February, and it happened. It happened last Friday, I believe, was the official announcement from Wizards.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. You're talking about the Modern set?
I'm talking about Modern Horizons. Announcing Modern Horizons, the first set designed to skip standard legality and aim straight for Modern.
Yeah. We kind of predicted that one.
Yeah,
I think
who called that one?
Yeah, that's right. You should get special pay for that of some sort.
Exactly. Well, and it was a twofold on that too. I think you called that it was going to be both a modern, straight to modern set, and it was going to be the boosters were going to be more expensive than normal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I underestimated Wizards' greed on that one. I thought it might be like $4.99 or $5.99 boosters, but that's not nearly good enough for WotC. So they the $6.99.
$6.99.
I thought it would be until like 2020 before we started cracking those levels, but apparently Wizards is pushing that date up on us.
Well, what was it? What were those master sets? Was that it? Those ones were
$9.99 boosters.
$9.99, yeah. So we have seen expensive boosters.
We have. This is definitely a trend I'm not a fan of, though.
No, not at all. It's definitely been creeping.
Yeah, I understand if you're going to do something extra special. Maybe your once a year ultra premium product. But it seems like they're releasing ultra premium products every quarter.
Yeah.
Between the Mythic editions and the unlimited or the Ultimate Masters, and now they're going to have Event Horizon. I mean the Modern Horizon. Yeah.
And before we get too far into our discussion here, just a couple quick facts. So it's going to be a modern legal set, skipping standard. We're going to have new cards plus reprints of cards not in modern, minus any basic lands. It's coming out in June 14th will be released. There'll be a draft pre-release weekend. 254 cards, and there'll be a buy box as well. We get this in stores and online. And as we mentioned, it's going to be $6.99 per single booster.
We'll see if that price holds. It'll be curious to see. And the reason I say that is because, technically Wizards got rid of their MSRP recently.
Yeah.
And it is also my understanding that this will be a print-to-demand set. And I don't know if you remember what that did to the previous summer set of Conspiracy 2 Take the Crown. It annihilated the prices on those cards. So I am curious to see how that goes this time around. People avoided those boxes like the plague once they realized that they were print-to-demand set, and this will also be a This is not a limited edition print set like the Iconic Masters, Masters 25, Ultimate Masters. This is not a limited print run. This is an unlimited print run. So basically, when stores want it, they get it.
So we will have a full supply for quite a while.
Yeah, so take it easy on the hype train. Do not buy early. Take it slow on that, because
I'd be curious. What's the percentage of new cards in here?
Me too. That'll. You know what? I honestly, I'm betting low.
I wouldn't think that many. Maybe 10 to 20%.
So out of a 300 card set, I'm thinking they'll probably print 20 new cards, and that might even be a stretch. We'll see. I do not anticipate a huge boost of previously unseen before cards. I would bet between 15 and 20.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They also stated too that it was going to be new cards and reprints of cards not in Modern.
Those will be pre-Modern cards. Those will be legacy cards.
Exactly. But do you think we're going to see anything, really premium there, or is it going to be kind of, lower mid-tier kind of?
It won't be anything reserve list, so we're safe on that. We're not going to see anything of high dollar value, I would not imagine. But it's hard to really say. But we may get some that may be up there a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I bet you they're trying to expand into Modern some cards that have a reasonable price tag now, but are not currently Modern legal, but making them Modern legal will jack the prices up.
So they're forcing the market here a little bit.
I would anticipate that being the case, because there may be cards that are in, say, Legacy that don't see that much play, but because they're slightly underpowered for that format or something. Yep. But in Modern, they would be quite powerful.
Sure.
And their current value may be suppressed to, say, the $4 level.
Yeah.
But being reprinted and made legal in Modern may jack their price up to like $12 to $18.
Yeah.
And so I think what Wizards is probably trying to do is build in future demand for future reprints, because those cards will have limited availability, and because they're currently very limited due to their age, and one set will sort of create the thirst for them, and future sets will be able to cash in on the high dollar value, similar to cards like Tarmogoyf and Liliana of the Veil. They sell booster boxes, those cards. So, Jace the Mind Sculptor, these cards, even when they get reprinted, they still hold value and they sell boxes.
Yep.
So I actually think that's probably their goal. They'll take $4 to $7 cards. By making them Modern legal, they'll become $12 to $18 cards, and then they'll be able to, the scarcity of supply, say 3 years from now, will be able to help them sell boosters 3 years from now. They're probably playing the long game on that one.
Man, it's crazy when you think about it, because it's basically, you're stacking the deck, so to speak. You're creating demand. You're for the market here by printing cards, older cards, and you're basically printing money for yourself and telling people what to buy through that.
Exactly. And the funny thing is,
and you're setting it up for the future, like you said.
Yeah, they're trying to line them up so they can knock them down.
And then on top of that too, you're introducing a whole new product line, basically, because I'm sure this is not the last we're going to see of this Modern Horizons, and then Modern Horizons 2 or whatever the next one is.
You're exactly right. They'll be churning these out. And as a side note, I will be paying very close attention to the booster box prices before release of this product. Yeah. If I can get them at a reasonable price, I will be buying boxes unseen, if possible, before they are spoiled. So I want to try to pick up some box action before the complete spoilers are released. The reason being is I think we are due for a very good box. And I can tell you why. Because the first quarter is going to be coming to an end soon. Okay. And by this time last year, and in years prior, we've had expensive box releases, Eternal Masters, Iconic Masters. Actually, Iconic Masters might have been in the fall, but I know Eternal Masters was a spring set. Typically, Masters booster boxes come out right during quarterly earnings report time, a little bit beforehand, so that they can report good earnings.
So this is an attempt to raise their earnings.
Absolutely.
At the end.
Wizards has not had a knockdown, bang up, huge money-making product the entire first quarter of 2019.
Yeah.
This will be their moneymaker for this quarter, and they will want to move boxes. And I actually anticipate the quality of the reprints in this to be relatively high. So I think this is going to be a Modern Masters 27 experience for us. Where I don't know if you remember, but the original Modern Masters was loved. It was $6.99. It was a limited product. Cards in it were good. People loved it. They sold off instantly, and they never restocked. And that was the start of the Modern era. And it was the first time Wizards supported Modern really as a sanctioned format and promoted it as such. And then I want to say that was in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
And in 2015, they came out with Modern Masters 2015. And by all accounts at the time, it was a relatively high disappointment. It was unfortunately poorly received because the prices of the boosters were higher. They went from $6.99 to $9.99, so that was a little bit more cash grabby. And on top of that, the reprints were not as good as they were in the original Modern Masters. So it really flopped. Stores had it for sale for very long times, and it was not a well-received product. Wizards did not sell it nearly as many as they wanted to. They made a ton more of it, and it sat at below MSRP for years. And then comes along 2017, and they realized they didn't want to have another flop like that again. Mm-hmm. And Modern Masters 2017 blasted past all the expectations of card quality. They had the enemy fetch lands. They had expensive mythics, expensive rares. To this day, that is considered a very high watermark for product releases. Mm-hmm. And they sold like gangbusters. And I'm anticipating a similarly awesome product release for this Modern Horizons.
Do you think though that's going to be affected though because of the basically unlimited supply?
The print to demand I think will hurt it, but I still think they will be. I think there will be good cards printed in that set. I'm drawing my line in the sand.
You're saying you're predicting good cards.
I am predicting good cards to the point that I am going to put my money where my mouth is, and I anticipate buying at least one, but probably two boxes in anticipation.
What do you think is going to happen to the modern cards, the existing modern cards that are become reprinted? Are the prices going to drop, or are they going to stay basically the same?
It seems paradoxical. It really just depends on the demand of the card. There are certain cards that they just have very high demand, and they are just highly sought after all the time. And those are, the Snappies, the Lilianas, the Tarmies, the Mind Sculptor, and how many times did they reprint Tarmogoyf, and how many times did it not affect the price? Finally, I think after the fifth reprinting, it's starting to have an effect on the value or the price of those cards. So there are cards that just hold their value, and so, it's like, I would say take it easy on the singles prices because, as is almost always the case, when these things first come out, the singles prices do drop precipitously shortly after release. I think they will eventually climb. I do think that there will be some value in these boxes. So we'll see. Before we get the release, I'll have a sense for what I want to pay per box.
Sure.
But and I'll announce that before I purchase my boxes as well. So, but I do think we're going to see good cards. That I am relatively certain of. I would not bet. Well, I guess I would bet money on it because I'll be buying boxes. So we'll see how that goes. But that's my prediction for the quality of the reprint.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this happens. How it unfolds, so to speak. I would hope for some good ones. I mean, we don't really know a whole lot so far. Two new cards were spoiled.
Yeah.
Cabal Therapist and Sarah the Benevolence. And we've seen Sarah for forever, basically.
You know, this is kind of neat to see the Sarah in Planeswalker form. I think those are good representations of cards that old school players want to see.
Yeah.
You know, that Cabal Therapy is a throwback to, or the Cabal Therapist is a throwback to the Cabal Therapy, I believe, was the actual card. And, you know, great card. It's like Cabal Therapy on a stick, and it's kind of exciting. And, I mean, and then the Sarah, you know, the Planeswalker version produces Sarah Angels, which is awesome. So,
I kind of thought she'd be an angel herself, or maybe more angel-ish, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know the whole backstory with Sarah, and I'm sure she was a planeswalker who was great and all sorts of stuff. I mean,
yeah. But I mean, like I said, it just harkens back to the original Sarah Angel, which for the longest time was a pretty powerful, sought-after card.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember back in the day, it was consistently a $2 card, you know.
Yeah.
And now we think $2 is a lot, or is cheap. But back in the day, $2 was like, whoa, look at that, $2, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, I remember it was that and Counterspell. They were interchangeably good at the time.
Yeah. Counterspell was amazing. So it looks like previews aren't going to start until the end of May, so we've got plenty of time here before we really get more info on that.
Yep. Although we all know that Wizards is about as tight as a sieve when it comes to retaining their secrets.
I'm sure there will be some spoilage.
We'll see what comes of that.
Actually, absolutely.
Yeah. I do like Modern. I like that they're continuing to support it. I like the idea of non-rotating formats. So
yeah, I agree.
Curious to see how that goes on MTG Arena too. What they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, is it going to be on there or not? I would guess not, but
we'll see. Curious because they don't really have any support for that now. Like everything is standard legal.
Yeah. Are they really going to go back and start adding other formats and adding more cards from previous sets? And
it's kind of curious to see what they do with that, because I would think that they would have to embrace it to some degree, because imagine all your cards now that you have in Arena, and they're all going to be rotating soon, or at least a lot of them will. All the Ixalan stuff,
absolutely.
The Dominaria stuff, like all that's going to rotate, and people are going to be like, "Whoa, what do you mean I can't use my cards anymore?"
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean I got to buy all new ones? What?
Yeah. And I wonder, because they're still continue to support Magic Online, but is Arena going to eventually supersede that in the future?
Oh, I'm sure that's their plan.
And then the other part of that, though, makes me wonder, is there going to be then some sort of, more of a price component added to Arena? Some more heavy emphasis on the pay-to-play, or is the model going to stay the same?
I think they've been tweaking that for some time, and I think that maybe they are somewhat satisfied. We'll see. Although, it's hard to slake Wizards' thirst for money. So
yes, because then once they've got you in their hold,
they are
squeeze a little bit.
Yeah, they're insatiable beast for your dollars.
Exactly. And in an online format, it's almost free money there. So
exactly. I'm sure Hasbro is like, Wizards,
do it! Do it
start
now!
printing your money! Print it!
Hurry!
We want it for our quarterly reports. You push out that Modern Horizons. You pump that Arena full of juicy goodness.
Absolutely. More cards, more gems, more everything.
Pump it till she's full to bursting.
Exactly. We need to make more. Excuse me. We need to make more premium alternate Darth Vader models with new hand grips to call it an even bigger profit.
That's funny.
Oh, goodness. Well, we talked about Modern, but there's also still news in Standard. There's still things going on and products there, too. We kind of missed on it from a week ago or so, but just this past week or two ago, on the February 15th, were released the Ravnica Allegiance Guild Kits. And this was 5 pre-constructed decks from each of the 5 guilds in Ravnica Allegiance, which mixed up some old cards and put in some new cards, too. New cards from Ravnica Allegiance. I guess the big note on this one is that there's some alternate art cards on there from the old Guilds of Ravnica. Oh, the old guild cards.
Yeah, they look pretty good too. Some of them looking really good.
I totally agree. I like the alternate art. It looks great. I'm looking at this Rurik Thar the Unbowed. I think he looks really good. I always liked him as a card to begin with.
Yeah, art's looking good on him too.
Yeah, he looks good. Rakdos looks good. And I really like the old Rakdos so much better.
Yeah, I agree. The Hellbent.
Yeah, the Hellbent, and even his old version now, you could really pull that off so much more easy with the Spectacle and all that, with all the Spectacle-related things.
Oh, yeah.
What else? So we got those. The guild kits come with a set of basic lands adored with a special guild watermark. They look extra fancy and pretty. As far as the value on these, I didn't think anything was really jumped out to me as far as unusual cards or cards that were really super expensive.
Where you were just like, wow, what a deal.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, you got to get that because it's so expensive. I'm like, not really. I didn't see any really standouts in this. A couple things that I liked. I mean, I honestly, just on a personal level, I like the Gruul deck the best, just because I thought the overall cards and card power level was the highest, maybe.
Okay.
Looking at
I know you kind of like Gruul in general.
Yeah, the Gruul's kind of fun.
Yeah.
The Savage-Born Hydra, that's a good one. Great card. That's a couple $1 card. I want to say Burning Tree Emissary. Was that up there?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. It's dollar-wise, I don't think so.
Yeah. What else? Not like I said, not too much else that was really stood out on that. On the
I do like the land too. I might want to mention that the nice watermarks on those lands.
Yeah, there's a nice watermark on
nice.
all of those lands. So just on even the basic lands, and then you could even see like on the guild gates as well. There's the watermarks on those too. So that looks nice. The Orzhov deck. I remember I'd have to check again, but it does include a Debtor's Knell. I know that used to be a high one. I'm not sure if anymore. I think it's probably dropped, due to reprintings. Take a look. Let's see. Debtor's Knell. We're very prepared, as you know. Debtor's Knell's going for several $1 card. You got about $5 now, so not terrible.
Yeah. How much is a Smothering Tithe? For some reason, that one seems...
Oh, that's the brand new one. It's not $3.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was more than that. Oh, yeah, you're right.
The other thing's really not super impressive, except as far as value,
like
dollar value for these cards.
Where, have you ever actually seen these for purchase? I've never actually seen them in stores or anywhere.
I think I did, because I was like, guild cards, but I really didn't even pay it a second thought, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny, I haven't seen them in retail. Although I never, I don't know, it's an odd thing. I just don't remember having ever seen them.
I know, too. I don't know if you've seen this, too. Sometimes with the stores, at least some of my local bigger stores, like the Targets and Walmarts and that, they don't get them right away. Like, if they say it releases February 15th, the earliest I'll actually see it is stocked in the store is a week later, and sometimes longer.
Okay.
So
that could be.
I know I don't always see them, for purchase right away.
Yeah, I just don't really remember having seen them, and I don't really frequent the the card game shelf in the large stores, so I just never see them.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the last time I did that was when I was flipping those Commander decks, where like years ago, where the Mind Seize deck was like $34 and you could sell it for like 60 instantly. That was the last time I really looked hard in my like Walmarts and Targets and that.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the decks are going for about $25 or so.
Okay.
It seems about right.
Yeah.
Like I said, no. At least for me, no real standout cards on here. You know, I think though, although the one thing I would consider buying out of these is just the alternate art versions of some of those.
Like the Rakdos and the Rubik
I guess they are.
Yeah, I do like some of that alt art. So
yeah,
I think the Xperia is
land too, maybe.
Yeah, the lands look pretty nice too. You know what? The lands, it's starting to get the awesomeness of our land base is starting to get so much better now because we have so many full art options nowadays, and it's like, you know, the unsets are the recent, you know, release of them, and you know, and it seems like they're doing so many special things with lands. It's sort of losing its charm as a special product.
Yeah.
In my mind on it, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
No,
but that, and a lot of times, like for your best decks, you don't have a whole lot of basic lands. You know? You're sitting there like going through your mana base, and you're like, wow, I only have like 4 basic lands in this deck. You know,
I don't really have that problem. I'm usually like 80-90% basic land. I do very little like special lands.
Gosh,
I keep it a very strict budget.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I do usually, you know, I'll usually try to keep my decks under $20, like almost always. So,
yeah.
But I have so many freaking cards. Like I have like a box of just lands. You probably do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. I have a huge box.
Every time I get a special land, it's going in that box. So I bust out the box, and there's over 1,000 lands in there. So it's like, oof. So I'll usually find some special ones to throw in there, but.
So yeah, so I'd say, you know, maybe pick up the lands or some of the alternate art ones, but otherwise, go ahead and pass on that, unless you really are, you know, looking for some memories.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other news item I have, we were talking earlier, is just kind of a fun item. We get some fun items in here, but this is still finance related. You might have noticed on Arena a couple weeks ago, there was an event, and there was Danny Trejo in the event, and he was featured playing against another, I don't remember the player's name now, another competitive Magic player, and when you played in the event, you would kind of play as Danny, and you see his little face as your icon or whatever. But apparently, this has been expanded, or has already been expanded in the process, where he himself is now selling autographed Magic cards on his website. So this really, the heavy advertised one was the machete, the trusty machete. That was back from Zendikar, I think it was. And obviously to reference his movie, Machete, where he was chopping up people with a machete and, you know, fighting the bad guys who wronged him. So you can, it's out of stock as of this podcast. But it's kind of funny to think, because this card is what? It's a super cheap card if you were just to purchase the card itself.
Probably like 15 cents or something.
I would agree. Let's see if you're right. And the price is, you're wrong. It's cheaper than that. 10 cents if you wanted to buy the trusty machete from Zendikar. But if you want the official Danny Trejo autograph on it, that's $30.
Oh my gosh!
So that's a $29.90 profit for a Danny.
Wow!
Which seems like a pretty good deal for him.
Holy cow. That is some stuff right there.
Yeah.
It's funny, I remember golly, a while ago people went crazy with Rudy from Alpha Investments.
Yeah.
They had at GP Vegas a couple of years ago. They were selling cards that he signed for $5 a pop. And what they were doing was they had hired a person, like a photographer.
Yeah.
And she would take your picture with him, and he would sign your card, and he was charging $5. And people went crazy, being just aggravated, saying, "Oh, he's ripping everybody off,"
Yeah.
And to the point where he even made a video. He was like, "Look," he's like, "this didn't make me any money. The amount that we paid, Jennifer or whatever her name was, the photographer, was like $300. We made like $380 on these cards.
Sure.
It was like, but people were going crazy, like, "Oh my God, you're just ripping off the community," and people were just going nuts over it. And here you have Danny Trejo, like, "I'm going to sign a card and sell it to you for $30.
Yeah, that's
and people
that's
think, "Oh, that's so cool." Oh. Well, what the hell is the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, in one case, you're getting your picture next to the dude who's like a YouTube guy, and probably has one of the higher YouTube views by,
sure.
I imagine it's probably him and Brian from Tolarian or whatever. But they're probably the top YouTubers for Magic. Yep. And it's like, oh, you get your picture with him. He signs your card. You give him $5. What the hell's wrong with that? I think
that's totally. I think it's a reasonable price.
I thought so too.
If you want a little something special, fine.
I thought that was very reasonable, and people were really up in arms.
I don't think there's any need to get upset about this. I mean, no one's forcing you to do it. They're not taking advantage of you. If you want to participate, participate. If you don't want to, then don't. I don't think there's anything really to debate about it.
Exactly. I think it's just the community's general hatred for him that drives that.
That's
drives that.
Just an excuse, I guess, to attack him.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it'd be kind of fun to have a Magic card autographed by Danny Trejo and be like, put it in your deck or something and be like, look at this. This is my Danny Trejo machete.
Oh, I accidentally got urine on it somehow.
Yeah. Well, you would have it on that sucker all sleeved up and everything.
I just mean because you peed on it on purpose.
Oh. Not after I paid $30, I would. But kind of similarly, he's also selling. Now I understand the machete. There's a loose connection there. But he's also selling several other cards as well. He's selling.
Damn, I ran out of the machetes. I need more cash.
No, I don't know why these are for sale because they don't seem to have any relation to him. But we have the Merfolk Assassin, Dawn of the Dead, Giganosaurus, Kamal, Council of Allocation. I assume that's a commander card. Oathsworn Vampire, and the Butcher's Cleaver. Maybe a loose connection on some of those, but like Merfolk Assassin. I don't get that one, but
yeah.
But all of those minimum price is $30.
Oh my!
And up $30 to $40.
Oh boy! Oh my goodness!
I mean, well, good for him, I'd say, for trying to make some extra bucks off something weird.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I don't know. It's a stretch, I'd say. Merfolk Assassin, currently, market price. What's your guess?
Which one is that now?
From the Dark. Yeah.
Oh my, from the Dark.
Yeah, it was destroy target creature that has Island Walk. He's 2 blue. He's a 1/2 Merfolk.
Gosh. I'd say, well, since he's from the Dark, my guess would be, is he an uncommon or is he
He's uncommon.
I'm guessing he's $7.
Nope. Try much, much, much lower.
Oh, really? Okay.
I will tell you it is under $1.
35 cents.
About 23 cents.
Wow. Okay.
You're lightly played.
Wow, okay. I was just thinking almost everything from the Dark seems to be creeping up.
A lot of that stuff is creeping up. This one...
Not so much.
Sunk in its ocean. So Danny Trejo making the cash.
Yeah. Well, I guess why not,
Sure. Speaking of cash and cards, this came out a week or two ago about Card Hoarder and the loan program that they have. So now through Card Hoarder, you can rent cards for Magic Online. So you want to play
an
a card?
interesting concept, yeah.
Yeah, you can spend. So basically, you can think of it kind of as an unlimited subscription service where you pay a certain amount and per week, and then you get access to cards of a certain value that goes up to your subscription value.
Okay.
So you can change your deck all the time and swap it around. So to give you an example, like for a standard, for a typical deck price, let's say less than $50, you would pay a subscription cost of $1.50 a week, up to maybe $6 a week.
Okay.
So you're talking at most for a standard format deck rentals, maybe $24 a month.
And that would allow you to switch decks as well?
Yeah, you can swap out the cards at any time. It's almost like a library system, sort of, where the card has a certain value and you can retain a full deck up to a certain value.
Yeah,
I could swap this dollar card for a different dollar card or whatever.
It's a really good idea. If I was actually grinding around on MTG MTG Online, and was actually actively playing, but not actively trading and doing the bot trades and actually buying the cards, that'd be a great way for you to stay in standard continuously.
Sure.
For a relatively low fixed cost,
That's not a bad idea. I mean, like you said, you have your choice of cards and decks. You just can swap at will, make new things. Pretty good.
Kind of interesting.
I'm kind of surprised that something like this hasn't happened before. I mean,
we talked about it in actual in-store locations. My locals started doing that. I don't remember if you recall.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. Yeah,
they were charging $8 for a rental of a $600 deck or something.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. Why not? I mean, I think you if you want to play a game, especially a game like this, like Magic Online or a card collecting game, you want to play and you want to have competitive cards. And you could spend money to try to get those cards. You could try to grind through it and try to win cards. But I think a lot of people would just want to start and play and have good cards to play with. And why not just go right to that instead of have to take the longer route. I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I realized I just had my mic on mute.
Yeah, because I heard nothing.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting here talking. I'm like, damn.
I'm like, he's not saying anything. Is he gone? Oh,
That's
man.
great.
I'll just keep talking the rest of this episode.
Podcast is all yours, Andy. Take it.
Yeah, I guess so. I think
I'm sitting here talking. I'm like, wow.
That's just did some sort of blink effect here, and
co-host has been removed from game.
Apparently, exiled there.
Return to the podcast at the end of the podcast.
Exactly. You'll come back for the
beginning of the
outro. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's
so check out Card Hoarder. Maybe get that. Another option for you. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea from a finance sort of point of view.
I'm really surprised they didn't do that sooner, and it seems to me that would have been a great idea for them, like historically. I just can't imagine. Honestly, I just don't know how strong and how vibrant the MTGO community is anymore. I haven't logged on in God knows when. Last time I logged on, sell all my cards to bots. So, or at least all my cards worth more than $2 or whatever.
And I think we've seen that already now, that the hit that the Magic Gathering Online is taken, from other sources, and particularly as noted from Arena.
Yeah.
So
I'd imagine that bleeding is going to continue.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's still going to be stuck like a stuck pig.
Just
for a while,
gushing until it dies.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Well,
imagine what a shame that is if you have, say, $5,000 of online cards and there's no one to play with anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
God! And there's no market for it. You can't do anything with it because they're just, And oh my gosh, how brutal is that?
Well, do they still have the deal where if you get the full set, you can trade it out for the physical card?
You can, but you have to do that within a very short time window now. They shortened the time window from like 18 months to 8 months or something. I think you basically have to do that just shortly after the cards leave standard.
Okay.
So if you've got cards that are like 2 years old in there, you're done. Those cards are not convertible.
So I guess your only option maybe is to sell the old stuff, so get the new stuff, and then trade that out.
Yeah. But imagine selling the old stuff at, 20 cents on the dollar value.
Yeah.
How brutal does that feel?
Oh,
terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, taking a huge loss on it.
Yeah. It's really a shame that the Wizards hasn't figured out some way to help people transition into Arena.
Yeah.
So.
Or give them, some sort of conversion offer or something.
Something. We'll give you 100,000 gems or so, something.
Yeah, exactly.
Something. Just, but I guess why give it to them when they'll buy it anyway?
Yeah, you've already got them, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Crazy. I know, and somewhat unrelated, I guess unrelated to Magic, but related to card game news. I pay attention to the Force of Will community a bit more because I enjoy the game immensely. They've had a riotous shakeup of their corporate structure. Apparently, they're a privately held company called the Force of Will Trading Card Company, and they had an ouster of their CEO. His name is A.G. Nakamura or something like that. And he's been at the helm of the game since the game's inception, and has a tremendous love of the game and everything.
Sure.
He's kind of like the game's co-creator, and apparently he was ousted at the company as the company was being sold to another third-party company.
Oh my!
Who is as yet unknown. So it's kind of been very quiet for the last, I guess, month or so about that. And during that same time, they canned their global liaison, who was like their English-speaking representative, who people could ask questions to, because I guess he was the right-hand man of the CEO who was ousted. So kind of curious to see how that goes. I hope they don't somehow ruin that game.
It doesn't sound
good. No, it does not. But although you never know. I mean, look at how Magic has done once Richard Garfield was out of the picture. So Richard Garfield was the creative soul of the game, but wasn't. The game didn't really take off until it was, essentially commandeered by more corporate-minded people.
Yeah.
So you never know how that's going to go, but it sure doesn't seem good.
No.
So I hope they don't ruin that game. Freaking love that thing.
No.
So even though I don't get to play that any more than I play Magic, really, I still enjoy it. It's funny.
There's no questions on those cards if it's a woman or not.
You're right about that.
Blatantly obvious.
Yeah, there's no sexual ambiguity there.
No.
Although there are a couple of trap cards that seem to be maybe somehow maybe the gender bent character.
Could make a case either way.
Yeah. So, but you wouldn't see that art on a Magic card. That's for sure.
No. Actually, that reminds me, and I haven't looked into this a lot either, but speaking of other card games, the Keyforge is, I believe they're releasing their new set.
I believe it's all, has it been released?
Has it released, or it's either released or is about to release?
Yeah, I think it's about to drop. And the news there was that it's all the same, God, I don't want to get it wrong. It was, I believe, all the same clans, just with new stuff, but a lot of reprints from the first one, which made people upset.
Okay.
So apparently, like a very heavy reprint percentage, like 50 or 60%. I'll nail that. I'll nail that down. I'll nail that information down because it just cursorily I read through that during when I was perusing the Reddits. So people were very, I guess, displeased at the very high reprint concentration percentage. Yeah. So that'll be curious to see. But we'll have more news on that.
We'll talk more about that and what's going on with Keyforge.
Yeah.
Very good. The only other last bit of news I had, we were just talking about it a little, excuse me, was just another piece of fun news where there was a new machine created that sorts magic cards.
Robo sorter.
This is a robot that automatically sorts and prices cards from Magic the Gathering. This was created by Sorting Robotics, a company in Y Combinator's Winter 2019 class. It's a robot that you can load up with magic cards, so up to 1,000 magic cards, and it'll automatically sort them. It'll look up their values and give you all that data in a spreadsheet. And you can change the criteria if you want as well.
There's a pretty cool video of it online that you had found too.
Yeah, you can watch the machine actually sorting its cards in the different little slots here. And I guess the system that it uses is a pneumatic system to pick it up and move it around so it doesn't damage the cards or get it dirty or anything like that.
Apparently guaranteed not to damage the cards, and they will pay you the value of the cards if they're damaged, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. I'm surprised that we haven't seen robots like this before, or even like I've looked into this myself a little bit because I thought I'd be curious. An actual like deck shuffling machine, like some sort of deck shuffler for Magic cards.
They do have card shufflers.
They have card shufflers, but nothing specific for Magic cards. I know there's always complaints about, my deck isn't shuffled very well, or no matter all the shuffling techniques that I use, it still doesn't seem to do any work.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So it was also developed by some previous NASA engineers. So some brains went into this machine.
Yeah, and you know what else? You know who else helped was the guy that designed the card sorting app that was used by I believe it was Card Kingdom, where you could send your cards into them. It would snap a snapshot of like all the cards laid out and instantly ID them and prepare them for sending in.
Very cool.
So, the app worked great too. I believe TCG Player uses some version of that as well.
They do too. Yep.
It's pretty neat. And but you know what? I wish they. Well, I can't remember if we talked about that before, but I wish they could use it to sell your cards on TCG Player. Like, boom! It would like produce a list of all the cards that you had for sale. But it's only to send people on their buy list.
Really?
Yeah. So it's basically snaps all your cards, and then it'll say like, Core TCG will buy your X, Y, and Z card for $3. So it's basically only to sell your cards to their buy list, but not to sell them to the public. So it's basically like, do you want to sell your cards for 30 cents on the dollar to us? We'll do that deal. But if you want to sell it to the public, the app won't help you. But it would have extremely effectively automated the selling of cards. I mean, I got to tell you, if it worked, I would be selling boatloads of cards on TCG Player if I could just lay them all out and scan them with the phone instantly. And I tell you, the scanning technology was fantastic on the phone. Like, it ID'd cards instantly. And it was like, you couldn't pull the cards in front of the card. You couldn't put the cards in front of the phone fast enough. That's how quick the scanning was.
That's awesome. I'm sure, we got the technology. That's just going to get more and more of that, and it's going to get better. and it's going to be able to do things like you just said.
Yeah,
someone will have it available.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, come on, it's awesome. You would think TCG Player would activate that capability for their website for that purpose. That's how they make money.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's only useful for people wanting to sell cards to buy lists on TCG Player.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I have a seller's account. I want to sell my cards to the people. Power to the people.
Yeah.
So,
don't want to give power to the people too much.
Apparently.
It's dangerous.
Exactly.
So there's no price tag yet on the machine, so
or at least no listed price. It was
listed price.
Yeah, it was one of those
don't know
contact
how much
us
it's gonna...
if you're a store, you can have one kind of thing
Exactly.
for a certain price. Pay case by case basis, I think, is how they phrase it. Yeah.
So you're probably not going to be able to rush off and buy one right away, but
exactly.
You can think about it.
It's a pretty cool video, so it might be worth checking out.
Yeah, check it out. I'll post it on the site. Take a look. All the news items I try to post on there as well.
Yeah, excellent.
So you want to wrap things up with maybe a pick or two? And,
I think it's about time.
Yeah, we've definitely chatted for a while here, I think.
Yeah, we've been rambling on for some time.
Lots of news this week.
Yeah. But I do have a fun pick this week, and I've been going through some of the Battle Bond cards lately, and whoa, did I just unplug the mic? No. And as such, I have found some interesting Battle Bond stuff, and it's a reprint that hasn't been reprinted for quite a while. I want to say the original was, goodness, let me look back here. The original was, view all versions, it's been a long time, it was Dark Steel. And
Dark Steel.
It's only been reprinted this one time in Battle Bond. It's a very fun card, and it's kind of neat. I had honestly forgotten about it, and it's a 2-mana artifact, and it's called the Genesis Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
And the Genesis Chamber says, whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, produce a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. So anytime a creature pops into play, or a non-token, boom, you create a free token. And this is only a 2-mana casting cost artifact.
Yeah.
So it can go in a lot of decks. Could go in, I don't know, I think it's a really fun card.
You could do a lot with that. Yeah.
And since it's been reprinted, so the pricing before the reprint was, 68 cents.
Okay.
And the reprint smashed it down to 14 cents.
Ooh, wow.
So for 14 cents, I don't think you're going to lose money on that. This one just seems fun to me, and it seems like it could, I could see it going back up to 50 cents pretty easy if it doesn't see a reprint for a while. So I thought that was kind of a fun card.
Yeah.
Get a creature, get a free mirror. So that's my pick for the week.
Very cool. My pick is I'm still on my big list of Ravnica Allegiance, things that I think are good cards. This one, I was shocked about how much it popped up in the pre-release and how people had multiple copies of it.
You're like,
how would I was like, there's no way you'd have more than one, but people had one or more, and that is the Growth Chamber Guardian. He is a green creature. He's 1 colorless, 1 green for 2/2. Great deal. And he has an adapt of 2. He adapts 2. You pay 2 colorless, 1 green. But the bonus of him is whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on him, you may search your library for another card with the same name, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it's
that is
kind
so
of like
cheesy when you see people with more than one and it's a rare.
Yeah.
You're like, how did this happen?
How did that happen? So I mean, it's great because he gets bigger, and you get another copy of him. So if you've got several in your deck, I mean, he's just gonna come out, and he's gonna come quick. I mean, you're talking turn 2, he could come out. You can certainly get him out faster than that, but probably turn 2, I think, is probably about the. I'm thinking even with acceleration. But you could certainly do his adapt by turn 3. So you're talking a 3/3, turn 3. You've already got another copy of him in your hand now. Just really good. Really good.
You know, every once in a while, I toy with the idea of making a deck that's the same type of thing, where when you play a dude, you get a dude of the same name. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of green cards that do it and a couple of white cards that do it.
The Squadron Hogs comes to mind for me in the white.
Yep. There's also another green one, some kind of Cerotid, I think, that does it from where it's like a 3/3 creature for each one of these with the same name and in play. So it's like 3/3, 6/6/9, and there's a couple of them in green and white. And seems to me like that'd be kind of a fun thing. It's just it's not powerful enough to really win, but still might be kind of fun to build around that somehow.
Absolutely. I think that's good. I think it's definitely got potential. I mean, I remember Squadron Hawks. That was a thing. Like,
oh, God, because you'd stick those freaking sort of light and shadow, not the light and shadows, it'd be the green-blue one. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, gosh, those Mirrodin swords would go on the Squadron Hawk and just rip face. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then Jace, the Mind Sculptor, would show up in that deck all over. That was the Caw-Go. Oh, my gosh, yeah. And the Caw Blade. Oh boy.
The Squadron Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he'd become a 1/1 flyer would become a 3/3 flyer that made your enemy discard a card and gave you lifelink.
Absolutely. Well, and the Hawk was even better because he didn't just search for one Hawk. He searched for 3 other Hawks.
Yeah, he could get as many as he wanted.
So that's pretty good. I mean, he was only a 1/1 flyer himself. But like you said, you put some artifact on him, and then he's a real big threat.
Yeah, he was. Oh gosh, it was just value all day with him.
Yeah, who cares if you lose him? You got another one. You got another 2. You got another 3.
Yep.
And you've got him in your hand. Even better.
Just ready to go.
Yeah. So
nice.
The Growth Chamber guy might not be quite. The Ghost Chamber Guardian may not be quite as good as him, but he's still pretty good. He is.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, a little hefty on the price tag, too. He's going for about $3 right now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he is not too shabby.
Nice.
So, yeah, I can definitely see him getting some play. We're looking in adapt decks, green value kind of decks. Yeah, I could see him going up maybe to 4 or so.
Yeah, kind of neat. Just depends on how well the adapt does.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's kind of what it comes down to.
Exactly.
But I will say some of those adapt decks online have been pretty beefy.
They're pretty potent. We've seen so many,
pretty good.
+1/+1 counter effects, and especially now recently with all green and blue things.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of potential there.
Absolutely.
For something to break out. If he was a merfolk, man,
oh boy, that'd be it.
Crazy, yeah.
That would be the stuff.
He is an elf, I guess, but he's an elf crab. But he is a warrior, so there's something there.
That's true. He's one of the
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe a home in an elf deck. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Genesis Chamber and Growth Chamber Guardian are your picks for this week. So
that's right.
Go pick up.
Very good. Very good.
So, as always, check us out online on YouTube and on the site itself, MTG Profits. And always, may your picks always be profitable.
All right. Have a good one.
Take it easy, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.